slow down, step on myself, sure, 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 slow down, sit down, so, go low down, slow down, sit down, so, go low down, slow down, sit down, so, go low down, slow down,
Hey, that's all. Slow down. That's right. Hey, it's another guy here called Audi. Really, what's up, man? You've gone for so long on this work. Sometimes work makes some people to be, out of reach. Really is one of them. Really is one of those guys that was missing because of work, But we understand, work is work. Good morning, really. How are you doing? Hope you are big man and you're doing good and everything is running so smooth. Sometimes hustle is a hustle, Really, kind of like setting things up so we can start on our topic. We were talking about, there is some music situation here. We usually talk about, wow. Is that being hungry? Oh, my green tea is here. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the platform. I'm just coming in, and if you are coming in and you're a new person to this channel, you know what to do. You do what? You hit the like button and tell me where you are watching from. Really, it's not easy, but I'm riding the waves. Kudos, man. We have to push for everything. Everything is a push, Even getting online sometimes, people like us is a push. You understand? So, if you are watching today, don't just scroll. Some people watch and they scroll. Don't scroll, Tell us where you're watching from. Today we want to talk about clotting factors. Why you cut yourself and all of a sudden sometimes bleeding stops. And why some people don't stop bleeding. So new guys in the house, I'm Dr. Ben. I'm coming from Africa, Kenya. Kenya is the place to be. And I'm bringing you a tune on this set saying we want to talk about coagulation profile. Why some people bleed a lot when they are cut and why some people, and normally why. So there are 3 pathways that stops your bleeding. 1 is called intrinsic pathway. 2 is called extrinsic pathway, and then we have the common pathway, how things coagulate, how platelets come in, and then you feel like, now the bleeding has stopped. Now I want to welcome everyone. If you are watching, welcome to this channel. This is Benjamin the Wise Guy, Doctor. Please tell me where you're watching me from. It's very important. You see, it's very important to know where you're watching me from. Tell me where you're watching from. And the other thing is, don't leave without giving a like. If you are watching and you feel the channel is nice, the channel is doing a good job, leave a like. Let's embrace each other. When you give a like, it tells some other people that somewhere that you guy, there's a guy here who is doing good job. Come and watch this guy. So welcome to everyone. I can see Ridley is the first one today in the channel. Ridley, welcome to the channel. Big up yourself every time. Feel home. I usually tell Ridley, feel home. And Ridley is one that needs to be in blue. Ridley is one that needs to be in blue. Ridley is one that needs to be in blue. Let me see. What am I doing? Sorry, sorry, really, this add as a moderator. So instead of adding you as a moderator, I'm doing my things. Let me put you on a jacket, man. Sorry about that, really. I think there was a clicking mistake. A clicking mistake. So welcome, Jamaican uncle. Yes, put that uniform color on Ridley. All this time, why have you not been telling me, Ridley, that I'm not in uniform? You know you are my subject. Hey, how? All this time. All this time. So welcome, my guys. Don't fail to give a like, Give a like. Let's tell people that here we are doing good things here. Good things are done here. Sorry about that, really. I deleted those messages without knowing. I was giving you a blue jacket and then I mistakenly pressed the wrong button, but now you are okay. So we want to talk about why some people bleed a lot and why. Big up, you really. Just waiting for you to come in fast. Uncle is my friend, you know. Hey, you actually make me laugh. So subscribe if you are a new person in this chat. We want to talk about coagulation factors and bleeding disorders, bleeding problems. If you have a person who has a bleeding problems, share this with that person. Tell that person, come and learn why you have bleeding problems and why you can be helped. But here is something that is my phone is here. It happens to be
As a real bad man, you happy when you see themselves. Cash flow. As a real bad man.
And you're true in a prime time. To achieve uniform, you have to be in class during homework. Yes, Ridley, come on. That is the thing. Now, let's talk about why people bleed when they are. Why some people bleed a lot? Why some people bleed a lot? You know, oh, I can see my little young sister, Cute Jessie here. Cute Jessie, did you get medication? Yesterday, Cute Jessie had a back problem. I hope you are doing good right now. Even if you are going, please tell me if you got a medication. Chacharaza, the Rasta man in the house. Chacharaza, don't have it dread to be Rasta, but we have Chacharas here. I don't know if Ras has a Rasta. Chacharas, do you have Rasta or do you have the Rasta man in yourself? Yeah, the Rasta hood in yourself. Tell me, Chacharas in the house. Big up yourself all the time, Chacharas. I'm seeing you. You are here while we want to talk about coagulation disorders of bleeding. People that bleed a lot when they cut themselves and they bleed a lot. So, Chacharaza, the Rasta man, never die. Yes, blessed is the man that giveth, that the one that taketh. Mbika Kawira, welcome, Mbika from where? Hey, I'm hanging like a computer of 252 GBs. Mbika Kagwira, tell us where you're watching from. If you are watching, don't fail to hit that button, the like button, and then if you have not subscribed, you do what? You hit the subscription. Mbika Kagwira from Bosnia. When you say Bosnia, I remember DJ Afro's movies, the Vietnam and Bosnia, the DJ Afro. No, in Kenya, we have a DJ even in movies, the one DJ Afro. Welcome, Bika. Welcome, Jamaican uncle. Welcome, Chacharaz. Welcome, Cute Jessie. Cute Jessie, I want to know how you are doing. Uncle, we are one team. Yeah. Really, always big up. Really, we will meet again. We need to plan another one. Me, you, Jamaican uncle, and the rest, Now, we want to talk about why some people bleed a lot and what happens. Let's get to know the normal first. But if you have a question that is made, yes, network issues. I don't know why it's lagging so much. The network is lagging so much, but people, we are here. We want to learn about these issues. We want to learn about some 1, 2, 3 issues which are very important, very important. So you will stand by here. We want to know why when you cut yourself, some people bleed a lot and some people don't bleed a lot. It is normal, it becomes normal. And let's see, my friends, what happens when it's coagulation profile, coagulation, the profiling itself, how it happens. The intrinsic pathway is one of the pathways that lead to the blood clot formation. For you, when you have cut yourself, the blood has to clot where you have a cut. And that clot has several things that happens. That cut has several things that happens around there so that you can stop bleeding. You see, so the intrinsic pathway, we have said there are several pathways. There are several 2, 3 ways that helps you to stop bleeding. 3 ways that helps a person to stop bleeding. But the 3 ways, it might have a problem somewhere. So you continue bleeding. You have seen some people have problems with bleeding. A little cut, when you are going to brush your teeth, a little bruise, you bleed a lot. When you cut yourself, a little cut, you bleed a lot. Sometimes you just bleed without. Women, when they are in their menses, they bleed a lot because of these problems of coagulation profile. So let's get to know why people have different problems occurring so that they can bleed a lot. But before we know the problem, you understand, we need to know the normal. Desert Channel Explorers, how is you? I've seen Chacharaz today has hit here. Really has a very tight program, but he is hit here. Jamaican Uncle hitting here. I can see Desert Channel also hitting in the platform saying hello. Desert Channel Explorers, welcome. I can see, I have seen my sister, my big sister saying, greetings everyone, Dr. Ben, chat. I've seen you chilling with a friend. I've said greetings from Kenya. Leila, how are you doing, my sis from United Nations of Ngong? Leila, I want to visit Ngong one day. Hope we will arrange. I see you. So coagulation profile. Why people cut themselves and they still watching from United of Ngong. Very important, United of Ngong. Miriam Mumbua, my wife told me, stop calling Miriam Mumbua. Call Miriam Mumbua. So I'm calling Miriam Mumbua. How are you doing? I was told to call you Miriam Mumbua. I'm kind of like calling you in the wrong way. So the topic, we started coagulation problems with bleeding. Women that bleed a lot in menses, people that bleed in their gums, people that bleed when they cut themselves a bit and then they bleed for so long. You see, those are the things we want to talk about today, and they are so very important, you see. So Leila, how is United of Ngong? Miriam, where are you chilling at today? Desert Channel is here, and I can see there is someone who is from Bosnia, reminding me the movies we used to watch of Vietnam. Yes, the soldiers of Vietnam. Mbikwa Kagwira is from Bosnia. Imagine I have a fan from Bosnia, my friends. Hey, that is nice. Now, Sha Travels, how are you doing? Sha Travels, how is the going, Sha Travels? I usually tell my big sister, advise me, man, in the world of presenting, because I'm presenting some knowledge, I'm presenting my insights of knowledge to the people. Chat Travels, give me some advice. Hey, doc, here you are not doing good. Do this, leave. Don't shout a lot. Give us some message when you are calm. You know, I'm a noisemaker, but I think my noise is not so bad. I have a good noise. So, welcome everyone who is watching in the chat. Welcome everyone. We are looking at Benjamin, the wise guy, doctor himself. So, we can do what? Yes, Dorothy?
No.
Oh, for a patient?
No.
Today is her day?
No. Amesema ametumaniwa shule mamake. Wakaambiwa kanaumwa sana, sasa itabidi wamwende.
So itabidi amebakisha siku ngapi for nini? Review?
Anafaa kuja on
14. How many days from now? 4 days.
Yeah.
Acha akuje tumweke down. Yes, my friends, we continue. So, what was I? Some disruptions, but it's good. What's going on, my brother Ben? What can Big Sis help you with? Advice, my sister. This is the world of presenting my insights of knowledge to the people. So, if I'm doing the right thing, tell me, increase here, reduce here, do this and this, you know. Hey, Smile in the City. Today I was in church with Smile in the City. Smile in the City, I was in church with you today. You saw that? Yes. While I was exploring, I decided to in the morning I took a matatu. Matatu are buses. Our buses in Kenya, they are pimped up with heavy music. So that was my ride today. I went with the Ganya and came back. We call them Ganyas. Yes, hey, I could not believe, man. I kind of like got lost the stage that I was supposed to ally. I remember Bosnia and Herzegovina. DJ Afro used to take us to those, those things. I bless my brother. And yes, you have bad internet today, sir. But it is, I got your backup, Dr. Ben. Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Thank you. I hope my internet right now is good. You are in a matatu. I saw you. Yes. Hey, Leila. I boarded a matatu which has 24 screens. Music. Hey, the music was just coming like, Dr. Ben, are you feeling the vibe? And I was like, yes, I'm feeling the vibe. Please come through. You are doing an awesome job. Keep up, Dr. Ben. Thanks. Leila, hey, I'll be leaving my car at home, matatu every morning. Hey, and then I boarded one from United of Gong. Where? Coming to town through Thika Road. What? Hey, man, I was behind you in a matatu. Man, visit Kenya, you see wonders of the world. Public transport is better than your car. Where public transport is better than your car. So welcome, my friends. We have even forgot the topic of today. The topic of today is coagulation profile. How people get coagulation. And you stop bleeding. So let's get to know the normal before we get the abnormal. So there are some, in the last video, I told you your body, your blood contains some factors that are produced from your liver. Some proteins, we call them protein factors, and you go there and see. So those proteins are the ones which come, hold this, hold that, yes, activate this, activate that, and then you stop bleeding. Is the matatu exclusive? Is the Chat Travels? When you come here, I'll make sure you board a matatu, which is called Anganya. I'll find a good one. No, it's not expensive. It is not. Yeah, $1 every stage. The one that I boarded with $1. So every stage, even if you are going 1 kilometer, you enter that, you pay $1, $1. But the kind of music and the kind of, where, uncle, tell them. Uncle, tell them how Nganyas are there. I know Uncle has bordered one. Uncle has bordered one. Uncle, tell people how Nganyas are in Kenya. Chat Ravens, when you come, you have to border one. You have to border one to go with an experience. There is no country like Kenya. Kenya. Hey, Kenya is another planet. Kenya is another planet. It's so long before I bordered those Nganyas, those matatus. So today, I've felt what I was missing. Now, let's go to the topic of the day. I told them already in the chat. Yeah. Yes, my beautiful people, my beautiful friends, starting from Jamaican Uncle the Emperor and Shat Ravens. I'll not be taking the motorcycle. I'm so scared of those. No, motorcycles, no. Even me, motorcycles, no. Motorcycles, no. But you people bother them because of living standard, you understand. Leila Ali, I saw you how you are. How are you? Leila, Smiler is asking you, how are you doing, Leila? Humbly, Smiler in the city is that person that speaks slowly with integrity and dignity. Those are people who are supposed to be discipline masters, disciplinarians. Disciplinarians, Smiler in the city. Yeah? So, Leila, answer that question. Now, we continue. We've said, when you cut yourself, Chat Travels, yes, when you cut yourself, there are three things that happen. You can start clotting by intrinsic pathway or extrinsic pathway. And the third one is the common pathway that leads to coagulation of platelets. Coagulation of platelets. So this is it. It is Joya from Qatar. Joya. Today I've bordered Nganyas and I feel it till now. I'm feeling nice. Please go and watch how I have a shorts. I have shorts. I've uploaded some shots. You feel how I was feeling, and the recklessness on the road. Now, yes, Chat Travels, many surgical wards in Kenya are full of people that have boarded motorcycles and even motorcycle riders. There are some counties in Kenya that they only have wards for people from motorcycle because they get injured daily. There was a time I saw a woman falling in front of me with a motorcycle. I had to take that woman with a kid in my car up to where they are going. It was so sad. Although they did not get injuries, but I really felt it. Do you know, Dr. Ben, wherever I cut myself, I don't bleed. I have to squeeze the blood out. Hey, you have Christmas factor. That is Chat Travels. Christmas factor is factor 9 of coagulation. According to me as a doctor, you must have Christmas factor that is high levels in your blood, or Hegmar's factor. So let's go. You can check the other video and I named those all factors. Even calcium is a factor. It is like watching a football in a club then in home, and how public wins are great. Yes, I've noticed that watching football at home and now we're going to watch in a club or in a restaurant. Today I left my ride. I just wanted to go and feel the vibe, of Nganyas in the morning. What I've seen, God knows how I felt when I was inside there. Now, welcome my friends, Chwea, Chat Travels, Leila Ali, Jamaican Uncle, Smiler, Desert Channel Explorers, and all that are here watching me. Chacharaz was here, or Chacharaz, you've left. Chacharaz was here before my internet started ish. I hope right now you are my internet is okay. Yes, I hope right now my internet is okay, my people. It had issues, but it has come back. Now, let's talk about something important. How you stop bleeding when you cut yourself. How do you stop bleeding when you cut yourself? How do you stop bleeding when you cut yourself? We have this pathway. The first way you can stop bleeding, the normal, how you stop bleeding. And you see, Shah Travel says, when I prick myself, I have to squeeze the blood out. Let's get to understand why. The intrinsic pathway is one of the most pathways that leads to blood clot formation. It is called intrinsic because all the clotting factors needed are already present within the blood, inside the blood, in your blood vessels, inside the intrinsic. All the factors, everything that is needed is there. And how does it start, my friends? How does it start? We have this something called Hegman's factor. Let's go to Ghana. Has been my experience for years. I miss to know Ghana in Qatar. I go and look at come. You will be surprised. They have upped their game, my friend. Today I saw wonders. Now let's see clotting factors. So these things that I'm naming like clotting factors, they are in your bloodstream. They are produced from the liver, and they are left to the blood to circulate, ready to help you not to lose blood. So we have this one that is called the Hegman's factor. The Hegman's factor. It is called factor 12. Factor 12. I don't know the person who came up with it. Discovered it was called Hegman. So Hegman factor, how it starts is activated when you cut yourself. Is activated. Wait a minute. So there is one thing that you need to know. Can I go through the factors, all of them? Let me go through these factors so that we can remind ourselves what we did yesterday. I was introducing some topics yesterday, and this is the topic. Now, we have fibrinogen, factor 1, prothrombin, tissue factor, calcium, protherarin, all those things. They have numbers. Please go to the last video that I did so that we can know. So, factor 12, when it is activated, which is Hegman's factor, it activates factor 11. And then, when it activates factor 11, it activates factor 9, then 8, then 10, 5, factor 2, and 1. That is how it forms, and then you get a clot. A clot does not just come. So Hegman factor it's activated to factor 9. You see, and then you add calcium ions. Factor. I'm trying to find a simple way of coming up with this. Let me see a simple way how I'll explain this so that we can. Wait a minute. So welcome everyone. If you have not liked my, you are missing a lot. If a person has internal bleeding, does it work too? When you have internal bleeding, it works. But you see, the pressure that you will be causing to the nearby nerves and the brain will be so much. You see, it works Jamaican uncle, and that's why sometimes when you have some internal bleeding, when blood comes out, you see they are like clots that are there. You see, so I'm trying to find a simple way. It works. So inside of the pipe is normally smooth. Inside of the pipe I mean arteries and veins. If the inside gets scratched or you get scratched, sensors detect the damage. The damage is detected. One sensor activates another one. Those factors are, I'm calling them the sensors. Activate the other one and another one until you form a clot. So the first step is we go to factor 12. We go to factor okay, we go to factor 12. It is the one which senses that inside here there is a problem. We have cut. It is produced when you have a scratch or a cut. Then it activates another factor called factor 10, factor 12A. Let me go through it. It activates factor 12A. So the 12A that is activated activates factor 11. You see? Then factor 11 produces something that is called factor 11A. And then the factor 11A activates factor 9. You see? So it from 12, 11, 9. You see, you are moving backward. So there is a factor called factor 12, and factor 12 is called Hegman's factor. So Hegman's factor changes to Hegman's A, which is an active. You see, when it is just Hegman, it's not active. It has to change to Hegman's A, and then Hegman's A changes to activates another factor called 11. Factor 11 is called plasmin thromboplastin. That's why sometimes you hear people saying, I've done a test that is called prothrombin time. They want to see if I have clotting problems. So the factors activate themselves like that. Then factor 9A, what it does, the factor 9A, what it does is very important. It activates factor, it combines with factor 9A and goes to factor A. It's like some switching keeps turning and activating. Yes, like that. We have started from 12, which is the main factor. Later, Dr. and Chuck. Thanks, Chuck Ravens. Then you go 9. From 12, you go to 9. From 9, you go to what? Now, the activating factor. So, when they are combined from factor 9, calcium comes in. Calcium is a factor. Calcium is factor 4. Yes, uncle, God really made that unique. Calcium is factor 4. Then platelets are coming in right now. When platelets come in right now, from when the factors have activated, factor 8A, this what combines from factor 9 when factor 9 is activated to 9A, they combine with factor 8A. Factor 8A is called anti-hemophilic factor A. Hemophilia means bleeding. You have had people having problems with hemophilia A and hemophilia B. So you have to have that hemophilic anti-hemophilia A joining to calcium. You've seen calcium is factor 4 and platelets. That's why when you do full hemogram, you see platelets function somewhere there. So when they combine, this complex activates factor 10 to 10A. So there are 3 things that happen. Let me write them down, you see, so that you know. I will write them, the factors, in a way that someone can understand them. Factor, we have seen factor 9, and then factor 2 factor 9 factor 11, sorry, factor 12 So this is what happens, my friend. There is something I'm trying to write down so that people can understand these factors. And these factors have names. These factors have names. So this is it. 12. This one is not active. Factor 12 is not active. It is not active until you cut yourself or you have a bruise. So it turns to, when you have a bruise, it turns to 12A. And then 12A activates factor 11. 11 is not active. It is activated by factor 12A. So the active one is 11A. And then we come to, so this 11A activates 9. Which to 9A, which is active. So these factors, if you have an A, it's the active one, and it is supposed to start with 12A. So this 9A, it has activated. What happens to 9? It combines with factor 12. So you see, when they have activated, so this factor combines with hemophilia. The disease that you hear about people saying that they have hemophilia, it is because they have problems with, if you have ever had a problem like hemophilia, they have problems with factor 8. Factor 8, let me write it here. Factor 8, anti-hemophilia. So factor 8, anti-hemophilia means anti-bleeding. Hemophilia means bleeding disorder. So it combines with this factor, calcium and platelets. When they combine like this, what happens? Now, this complex activates factor 10. What is factor 10? Factor 10 is called Stuart factor. You see, it combines with, so these three things activates another factor which is called the Stuart factor, factor 10. Which is the Stuart factor. When they combine with the Stuart factor, what happens? Factor 10A, which is the active one now, enters the common pathway. And what is the common pathway? Even the extrinsic pathway has, this is the intrinsic. There is another pathway. This one is just how you have seen, this one is just how 12 is activated to 12A. 12A is active, activates 11. 11A is active, activates 9A. All these factors have names. So 9A it combines with factor, this 9A combines with factor anti-hemophilia, anti-bleeding factor, calcium and platelets. They activate something that is called the Stuart factor. And the Stuart factor is the main thing when it comes to, it is the main thing when it comes to, Stuart factor is the main thing when it comes to stopping bleeding. You see? So it does this. This is what it does. It converts prothrombin factor 2, which comes from the liver. This is the common pathway. All of this even the intrinsic pathway, they only activate the Stuart factor. They only activate the Stuart factor. So the Stuart factor, which is factor 10A, which is the active, 10A, which is the active, converts prothrombin factor 2, converts prothrombin factor 2, which is from the liver. Prothrombin is factor 2 from the liver. So this is now the common pathway to thrombin, thrombin, factor 2A. Now, this, you see, we are going with the Stuart factor converts prothrombin from the liver to thrombin, which is 2A. Prothrombin is the active one. The active is 2A, which is thrombin. You see? So 2A. And then thrombin converts fibrinogen factor 1 to fibrin. Fibrin forms a stable clot. So whatever that forms you a clot when whatever that forms the clot when you are breathing is this thing called fibrin. You see, that is one. That is one. So the important factors here is all these factors. Some of them are produced in your liver. We have started with factor where you have cut yourself. And then when when you have cut yourself, factor 12 is activated. And what is factor 12? It is called the Hegman factor. Maybe the person who discovered the Hegman factor was called Hegman. So factor 12, which is Hegman, is not active. It is not active. It is converted into, once you have opened the oxygen, the everything has been opened. Now it converts something to factor Hegman's A. Hegman's A is the active, which is 12A. Now 12A, good morning doctor, how are you sweet? We are fine, grandma of 3. Yes, thank you a lot. Thanks for liking. So 12A converts it to 11, factor 11, which is factor 11, which is not working as usual, but now starting to do it everywhere. Love you, doctor. Thanks. There is a factor called plasma thromboplastin antecedent. I made it to 1,400 subscribers. Oh, grandma, wow, thanks. Let's go. Thank you. Let's make it happen to millions of subscriptions. Let's continue. So factor 11 is not active. The factor 12A, Hegman's A, comes and converts 11A to 9, because it cannot convert Stuart factor. Stuart factor is the common one that starts another session. So it jumps to 9A. This one. You see how it is going? It jumps to 9A. So 9A converts with calcium, platelets, and antihemophilia. That is factor. Antihemophilia just means that antihemophilia means a factor that helps you to stop bleeding. They come up with factor 4, which is calcium and platelets and hemophilia, and then they activate now the common factor 10. Factor 10, STRAT factor. What does STRAT factor do? STRAT factor activates, now it comes to the common pathway. The common pathway is a very important pathway. Something called prothrombin, thrombin, fibrinogen, and fibrin. So, STRAT factor, factor 10 activates factor prothrombin to 10A. Factor 10 activates prothrombin to thrombin. And then thrombin, which is factor 11A, activates fibrinogen to fibrin. That is Kevin Walls. Good morning, Kevin Walls. Now, I want to tell you why some people bleed a lot. I want to tell you why some people bleed a lot and why some people don't bleed a lot. This is the common factor. After this factor, antihemophilia, calcium and platelets have activated the common one, factor 10. The common pathway means there is prothrombin, which has to be converted into thrombin and then to be converted to fibrinogen to fibrin. So if the STRAT factor is trying to convert prothrombin and thrombin is taking a long time. Welcome guys, we are talking about how people stop bleeding and how people take long time to bleed. You see, you have cut yourself normally, and then factor 9, this one, factor 12, which is the Eggman's factor, has converted to Eggman A, factor A. It has converted to 11, thromboplastin, to A, and then it has converted the A to factor 9. Now, factor 9A converts this one to, comes and activates calcium, platelets, and antihemophilia. Converts this antihemophilia is a factor that helps you anti-hemophilia, anti-bleeding factor, plus calcium plus platelets. Starts the STRAT factor, which is factor 9. Now factor 9 will lead you to this one, the common pathway. Even the extrinsic pathway comes and activates STRAT factor. The extrinsic pathway, the other pathway that we'll talk about, how to stop bleeding, comes and activates this STRAT factor 10. You have to activate factor 10. From Eggman's factor, we have to activate this so that you can stop bleeding by bringing prothrombin to thrombin to fibrinogen to fibrin. But when you have gone through all this and you have activated factor 10, T, hello, welcome. You have activated factor 10. This is the problem now. This is the problem. This thrombin in your liver and is in your blood vessels takes so long to be activated to thrombin. When people are bleeding, you have gone to you have seen some people. Let me see, how many of you have ever seen a test called thrombin time or prothrombin time? If you have had problems with bleeding and then you've had, oh, where is my antioxidants today? My green tea. My green tea is here. My green tea is here. My green tea is here. Let me feel good. Let me take out my oxidants. Let me take out oxidants. Let me take out oxidants. and feeling good, my friends, and stretch a bit, you see, and stretch a bit. That knowledge is heavy, man. That knowledge is heavy message. So we have started by, let me talk as I'm standing. Let this seat be here. You have cut yourself. Factor 12 has come. This is the intrinsic pathway. Factor 12 has come. He has said, yes, I love green tea. Yes, this is what I'm taking. Factor 12 has come. Once he has said, no, you should not bleed. If you bleed, you will lose blood and you will die. So factor 12, Hegman's factor is activated to Hegman's A, factor 12A. So there is another factor which is called factor 11A, thromboplastin. Thromboplastin comes in. Yeah, you know thromboplastin is 11 factor. Thromboplastin is not active. It has to be converted into 11A, which is thromboplastin A. So thromboplastin A is converted by Hegman's factor A. So thromboplastin A comes and says, now I cannot touch the strut factor. Is the boss. Jumps the strut factor, that is factor 10. What? Goes up to factor 9. Bah! And then tells factor 9, wake up, my friend. Bleeding. Someone is bleeding and he can die. So, when it wakes up, factor 9 was sleeping and then wakes up to A. That is now the warrior, like the soldier next to the president, the king, who guards the king. And the king is the strut factor, factor 10. So the strut factor is the overall. But remember, when they wake up, if it is factor 9, factor 9, which is Christmas factor. Factor 9, yes, it's the Christmas factor. Factor 9 is the Christmas factor. When they are sleeping, when they wake up, they change into A. If it is Christmas, it is called Christmas factor A. If it is Hegman's, it is called Hegman's factor A. So Christmas factor wakes up and tells because it's the next to the king, which is the strut factor, factor 10. Hey, king, stop sleeping, even you. The king wakes up with factor A. He was just Stuart, but now King Stuart has woke up with factor A. Now that one comes and takes calcium, activates platelets, and then we have anti-hemophilia A, factor 8. Yes, factor 8. They come, they bond. The king has told now, my true soldiers of stopping bleeding, factor 8, come. Anti-hemophilia, I've said, is anti-bleeding. Platelets, come. Calcium, where are you? Come. We want to stop this person from bleeding. You see that? And then they bind calcium, anti-bleeding. I call it anti-bleeding, anti-hemophilia, and that is called the intrinsic pathway. The intrinsic pathway, because all of them, they come back to strut factor 10A. So when the intrinsic pathway has been started, what happens, my friends? We go now to the common pathway. The common pathway that stops you to bleed. It activates another factor called prothrombin, coming from the liver. Prothrombin is changed to thrombin. Now, thrombin, which is factor 2, prothrombin is factor 2, and now thrombin is activated from factor 2 to thrombin. We come up with fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is activated to fibrin. Fibrin is what causes you to have a clot where you are bleeding. And when that clot is there, my friend, you cannot continue bleeding. It forms a mesh. Common pathway plus intrinsic pathway. So intrinsic pathway comes from Ekman's factor down to Stuart factor. The common pathway comes from prothrombin, thrombin. You see, prothrombin is factor 2 to 2A. 2A is thrombin, which activates fibrinogen to fibrin. And then you stop bleeding because of the clot. So if you bleed even internal, if you have even internal bleeding, what will happen? You will have the same thing that will happen. Because once you are cut, this intrinsic pathway does what? Activates the cascade that you have seen. Now, let me ask a question. If you are listening and you are hearing me politely and in a good way, have you ever gone, as someone is bleeding and you are told you do something that is called prothrombin time. You do something that is called prothrombin time or thrombin time, or something that is called INR, International Normalization Rate. It is nothing. It is just the common pathway. We take your blood, and then we check how this takes to work, the time it takes to work. And that makes sense, because if the Stuart factor, who is the king, takes a long time to organize his soldiers in a battlefield, what will happen? All of you will die. So the Stuart factor has to organize, the Stuart factor has to activate this so faster, and this one has to activate this so faster that the clot formation can happen faster. So if you have a problem with thrombin being converted to prothrombin, you see you will bleed a lot, because the clot will not be there. You will bleed a lot. Guys, no one have ever done that test, bleeding disorders. Who has ever heard about it? You have gone, you have been bleeding. Women, these things are done to you so much. You have gone to a hospital, you have been bleeding a lot, and the doctor says, do something that is called prothrombin time. So what the doctor wants to see is, why is this person bleeding a lot? Is the conversion from the Stuart factor conversion of prothrombin taking so long to be converted to thrombin, so that the clot, this is the clot forming, fibrin, the clot forming. Does it take so long? That's why this person is bleeding, because if prothrombin takes so long to be converted to thrombin, you will not stop bleeding. You will not stop bleeding. My friends, am I talking in Greek today? I think I'm talking in Greek. Or someone, is someone understanding something? Yeah? That was by the way. Is someone understanding something? Or I'm beating around the bush so much? Anyone who has a question for there? I've said, I'm here, Dr. Benjamin. Thank you a lot for being here. Thank you for being here. Someone is hitting me a message. Then mwambie text please. So you see all these things, how the cascade comes around. So if you have ever had someone has gone to a doctor and the doctor has said, get a prothrombin time, get prothrombin time, it means he wants to see how the Stuart factor, how long it will take prothrombin to clot. Tell me if you have anyone in the as we talk, anyone has ever had a person with problems with bleeding? Anyone who has ever had a problem with bleeding? Anyone? Anyone who has ever had a problem with bleeding? Anyone? Okay, any question up to there before I go to the next thing that I want to go through? At least now people know how when you cut yourself or something happens, you stop to bleed. How you stop to bleed. I had people, okay. When you hear some people are bleeding a lot, and the bleeding is not stopping, it is called disseminated coagulation, DIC, disseminated intercoagulation. Wait a minute. Yes, let's continue. Well, there is something when you see some people that are bleeding a lot, they are really bleeding a lot when they are cut, and they have problems with clotting. They have two problems, hemophilia A and B. You have heard about them. So hemophilia A is a problem with factor 8. Factor 8 is anti-hemophilia. Anti-hemophilia lies after after the intrinsic pathway. You see, it is a factor that combines with platelets and calcium, and then now it activates prothrombin, thrombin to fibrin to fibrinogen. That is a factor that those people don't have. Anti-hemophilia, anti-bleeding factor. That is anti-hemophilia A. But there are some people who have hemophilia B. Factor 9, the Stuart factor. No, factor 9 is not the Stuart factor. Factor 9 is a Christmas factor. Christmas factor. Christmas factor is factor 9. They don't have that anti-hemophilia B. They don't have the Christmas factor. And you see, when you start having from the Hegman's factor, you come back to the factor. Hegman's is factor 12. You come back to factor 11 and then to 9. So if the cascade does not go like that, you will not stop bleeding because it activates another one as we go. So if you don't have these factors, you will have a problem. You will have a problem. You see? So my guys, hope you have understood. The common pathway, the intrinsic pathway ends at Stuart factor, factor 10. We start with factor 12, which is Hegman's factor, which is activated to A. And then we go to factor 11. After factor 11, which is thromboplastin, we jump factor 10, which is the king, the start factor. We go to the factor 11 cannot activate factor 10 start factor. What activates factor 10 is the factor 8, factor 8, which is anti-hemophilia A, to combine with calcium and platelets, and then they activate factor 10, which is the overall, so that the thrombin can be converted to prothrombin can be converted to thrombin, which will activate fibrinogen to fibrin. Fibrin is the clot which forms the clot. So the cascade helps the other one. The most important factors is the start factor, anti-hemophilia A, which is 8, and I'm trying my very best to understand. Okay, let's go like this. 9, 12, 11, 12, 11, jump 10 to 9. 9, then 8, now 9 activates 8 calcium and platelets, come up with the king, the steward. That one is intrinsic factor. I've gone to 12, 11, I've jumped 10. 11 cannot activate 10. 10 is activated by factor 8, calcium and platelets. So you go to 9. 11 to 9. 9 now is what will activate factor 8, calcium and platelets. Then the king arises, factor 10. Factor 10. That is intrinsic pathway. To start factor 10, that is intrinsic. But there is the common one, which is prothrombin converted to thrombin. Prothrombin is factor 2, converts to thrombin. And then thrombin is what will come out with fibrinogen to fibrin. Fibrin is the mesh that forms the clotting. Yes, I think if I go so much deeper on this, we will be confused. Let's get questions. Anyone with any question, my friends? Anyone who feels has a question, please come out and talk about it. Let's talk about some questions. Who has any question? Any question? I usually say any question because people have questions that are different. Any question that anyone has? Tomorrow we will deal with the other. This is intrinsic. We have said your blood clots in 3 different. There is one that cannot change, the common pathway. This one cannot change, this one, because you have to convert prothrombin to thrombin so that fibrin can form the clot. And this prothrombin, they come from the liver. They are produced in the liver. So any questions, my friends? You are a scholar. Yes, I am a scholar, my friend. I am a scholar. Who has any question? We need to understand. Any question, my friends? Blood clotting, yes. All this, that is, the clotting is now forming of, clotting now you understand, is this last thing. Fibrinogen to fibrin forming the clot. But you see the platelets, when we are checking on your platelets, platelets are here, very far away from the clot, very far. Calcium, factor 8, which is anti-hemophilia A, plus the platelets now coming to activate the steward factor, which is 10. You see, things activate themselves like electricity. So, any question you have? Any question? Anyone who has a question? Anyone with any question, my friends? Now, even of any other thing that is not here that you feel we can. Law and medical language is almost the same. Even law confusing languages. The only thing that these things are not hard. The only thing is from where they were discovered. They used some ancient languages, and these things that we are studying about, they are named after some ancient languages. They are named after some ancient languages. That's why they become so tough. That's why they become so tough, you see. So, my friends and everyone, I'm waiting for your questions. As I'm looking for the questions that someone is sending and the others are sending me here. Any questions, my friend? Or which other thing would you like me to talk about? Any other thing would like me to talk about, my friend? Any other good thing that you would like me to talk about? I've written your notes here. I will Google the words I don't understand. Which one? Which one do you are not understanding? Just ask the words that you are not understanding so that I can explain. You can go to Google and then you'll be confused. But now I'm here. Just tell me, I don't understand this word. I want to know what this word means. Yes, I'm waiting for your questions, my friends, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for those words that you've not understood. As we wait for those words that you have not, mostly about factors. Oh, okay. Now, factors, like which factor? If you want to understand factors are, we have how many factors? We have 13 factors: fibrinogen, prothrombin, tissue factor, calcium, proserpine, provocatin, anti-hemophilia, Christmas factor, Stuart factor, plasma thromboplastin, Ekman's factor, and fibrin stabilizing factor. These are some. How can I call them? Let me find a simple way I can call them. Oh, yeah. Yes. We started this topic yesterday, not today. So if it will be good to rewatch from yesterday. So, for you to understand easily, factors are like proteins that are in your blood that helps you when you are cut. They work together to help you to stop bleeding. So they work together by activating each other until you stop bleeding. These are called the factors of your body. They are just proteins. Even platelets. You see platelets and calcium. I know you understand calcium. Calcium is also called factor 4. But you see it has another work in your body. All those things are just proteins that help each other to work together so that the clotting can stop. So that is it. but it's good if you rewatch slowly by slowly, because tomorrow we have dealt with the intrinsic factor. Tomorrow we will deal with another factor, pathway, with another way, another pathway that is called extrinsic pathway. Extrinsic pathway. That is another way where your body stops bleeding. Your body stops bleeding. Another way. But there is one that I've named, this one. From Hegman's factor to Strat factor, that is intrinsic factor. But there is this one which is common. So tomorrow, this is prothrombin, thrombin, fibrin to fibrinogen. This one is called common because even the extrinsic pathway, it activates the Strat factor so that we can come to prothrombin, thrombin. So we have two pathways, intrinsic, extrinsic, and then down here, the common one. So both of them, the Strat factor is here, Strat. So let me write here, Strat. Yeah, I know calcium and platelets. You see, I've written Strat here. So all of these, intrinsic, extrinsic, they come and activate the Strat factor, and then they go to the common pathway, which is prothrombin, thrombin, fibrin to fibrinogen. So that is how things happen in your body. And now I know someone, if you have been following, you are starting to know why you are bleeding a lot. Because let's say if a person has a liver problem and some factors are produced from the liver, it means you will not have enough factors that will stop you from bleeding. That's why people that have liver cancer, they bleed a lot. Liver cancer. You see? But now people are listening calmly. They don't want to ask questions. Please ask questions. You know, sometimes asking is good. There is this thing that is called intravascular coagulation. You are bleeding a lot because you don't have the factors that are needed. Anti-hemophilia A, anti-hemophilia B, you don't have them. You don't have even the Strat factor. So it is when you are cut, you bleed a lot. When you go and brush your teeth, you bleed. When you go to check blood to check the activation of prothrombin to thrombin, we find it is being activated so slowly. Even forming the clot, which is from fibrinogen to fibrin, is a problem. So we have to get prothrombin itself or thrombin itself to inject you so that you can start having the clotting. You see? But we will see again, there are some people, their blood just clots. Their blood always clots, and you can do nothing. They are just clotting from nothing. Those people have excess of some factors. We will see the excess factors that these people have. We will see the excess factors that these people have. You see? So anyone who has can tell me something. And if you are a new person and you are watching, please usually request hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you are a new person and you are watching and you are here feeling that the vibe is good and we are learning something, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Share my videos. Yesterday I said about sharing and posting of links here. If you are a YouTuber, you post a link and you saw the advantages. They increase your subscription. Even you as a person, they increase your subscription. Yes, I'm looking at something here. Okay, so anyone with a question, as I have 10 minutes, I log off. I have 10 minutes, I log off. Anyone who has a question? Who has a question? 10 minutes, I log off. Okay, yes, I have ways. When you feel someone you are not understanding a term that I'm using, desert channels, I usually recommend you just say it here so that I can simplify. I usually do that. Like the strut factor is just like saying calcium or protein. Like the fibrinogen is just like saying calcium, platelets, they are proteins. So don't take them as heavy words. Like calcium is just calcium. But if you feel there is a heavy word that you are not understanding, just mention it so that we can simplify it as we talk. Or if you are watching and I'm offline, you can leave your message there. You can leave your message there so that I can explain later in the other video. I'm waiting for some questions, random questions, any question. Any question. Before my time, I love cash flow. Maybe I use a caption in your replay to catch the word. Yes. That one can help. When people are so silent, it means that they are discovering what they have not understood for so long. They are even coming to ask a question they have to synthesize, and I understand what people are having. So that is normal. So everyone who is watching, who is here, thanks for coming in. Here we talk about so many issues. You can go through my videos and check my lives. Most of the things I do are lives. Many things that I do are lives, because sometimes getting time to do a video and edit to me is a problem. So I prefer doing lives. We talk ourselves, we come up with issues, and then we sort them. So everyone who is supportive to this everyone who is supportive to this channel, thank you so much for support, and share my channel, share my channel so that you can. But I hope today someone has learned something, and now you can get it when people are saying there is so and so who the blood never clots. There is so and so who the blood never clots, and there are so many things. I usually say again, if you have a thing that you want me to talk about, please don't keep silent. Just come, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that thing. See, I got to go. Thank you. Even me, my time has 5 minutes to go. I'm just hanging around my time to go as I wait for some someone has a question. and I know questions sometimes are so hard to ask, and so that is it, my friends. That is it. At 10 today, I will come live at 10 today. I can come live at 10 today. We have some questions, one or two questions that we can go through. One or two questions that we can go through. So for you who have been here for all that time, be blessed. I think I have to log now because no question is there, but I'll be live at 10 as I will talk random and answer questions randomly. So bye, see you. You can watch if you came late and say something. Have a nice time.